project, you guys are going to need to know how to use a grid to draw with. So grids are an awesome tool in case you aren't very adept in freehanding things. So if you see a picture that you really like and you really want to create, you can create this grid on each image and you can transfer it by using the grid. So first I'm going to show you guys how to make the grid. It's really easy. Then I'm going to show you guys how to use the grid, and we'll talk a little bit about what you guys are going to need your grid to look like for your project. Okay? So we're going to need a ruler and our paper. And so for this one I'm just going to show you guys how to use a 1x1 grid. And so we're just going to go down every 1 inch. So I start at the top of the ruler where the first hash is. So if it's at 0, I put my paper at the 0. Okay? Then I go down to my 1 and I make a mark. Every inch. So I go 1 and then I go down to the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 inch. Okay? So this is where some people mess up. They want to take their ruler and they want to flip it over like this. If we do that, our square is going to get messed up. So we need to take our ruler and we're just going to slide it over. Okay? If we turn it like this, our squares are going to be off a little bit because the paper isn't quite an inch here from the bottom. Okay? So you want to take it and you want to go just slide it across. And you're going to go down every inch again. Of course, you guys are going to be using a pencil to make your grid so you can erase it. Okay, and then you're just going to take your pencil and you're going to connect your marks. Okay, you're going to do that all the way down. I know this seems like a really simple task, but it can get kind of tricky if you guys are trying to enlarge your images, which we're going to do in our project. So with our project, we're going to enlarge them at least 2 times. If our paper is large enough, we'll do 3 times. So you guys are going to start with 1 inch squares on your image that we're transferring, and then we're going to enlarge it at least 2 times. Okay, so that's where it gets kind of tricky, so you have to do some math, and you have to say, okay, so I have my square 1 inch, so if I'm going to enlarge it, I want to go 2 inches. Okay, but for this, we're going to do it the same size, so I'm just going to go over every inch again. And again, I don't want to flip my ruler over. Okay, I want to just slide it down to the bottom here. Okay, so now we're going to connect it. So you can see this end one here isn't an inch. Okay, it's smaller, and so that's why we don't want to flip our ruler over, because the paper isn't an exact square. So if we flipped it over, then this would be opposite of this. Okay, so we want them to be the same. Everything needs to be the same or this will not work. So when you guys are doing this in pencil, it gets very tempting to make your lines really dark. Don't make your lines dark, make them as light as you can, or else you're not going to be able to erase them. When you have very dark marks on your paper, it's very hard to erase, so make your lines nice and soft. And of course I'm doing mine in marker so you guys can see it okay. So, now I have my grid all drawn out. So here's what I'm using for my other grid. Okay, I'm using a transparent sheet. So we're going to put our grid on a printed out version of our picture that we're going to transfer, okay? So, but I'm doing this one because I have a picture in a book that I want to use. So if you ever see anything that you don't want to cut up or take out of a book, you can make